Hello everyone, I'm Debiria from Debiria's Naturals and Cases of Evolutionary Empowerment. This is part 2 of the video I did for Mother's Day when I was getting like this message coming through, and I actually had to go and do some research because so many things were triggered when I began to channel this message, and I began to get like a huge download, and I needed some time to meditate and chew and ruminate on that thing, honey, because it was a big download. So I'm feeling like that this download really had a lot to do with the twin flames and with the Mercury retrograde. And the reason why I say so is because I've been noticing a shift occurring where the divine masculine energy is really beginning to tap into the emotional center. Actually had a reading that I think I did on live, and I need to download that and place it on YouTube, where it was showing the energies that were coming through with the retrogrades, the eclipse, and the solar flares that it was going to be like really trying energy. It's like really draining. The energy is really draining. So you might have noticed that you've been feeling a little sleepy, a little drained. And the warning that came out was to stay away from the sun, the S-U-N, and also the S-O-N, because the divine masculine, the sons of the Most High, are being activated at this time. And as they're being triggered and releasing their demons, they are actually going through an ego death, which is not easy, you guys. It's not easy. Ego deaths, I mean, you're literally reprogramming the persona, the personalities. Like you're breaking the personality of a person when they're going through an ego death. And there are a lot of things that, structurally in their belief systems that they are having to release so that they can, unlearn the things that they have learned. Also, these falsified beliefs that they had are being shifted, and they're releasing a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of early adolescent traumas that they may have experienced. And this is also generational curses that they have been ordained to break in their families. And it's really a big deal because a lot of times the masculines are having to go through these experiences and these changes unconsciously or unaware of how to navigate it spiritually, because they may not have a support system that's set up for them as feminines may have. And the support system they may have could very well be a feminine who does not understand perspectives of a male or masculine energy. So we have to keep this in mind when we're dealing with our twin flames or soulmates, the people that we love, the males in our lives, and they're going through all these shifts and changes. They're having to really navigate it themselves. And I'm really seeing that here with this closure, because this person is walking alone, but they're having to close out some cycles and close some doors. And they're just on the path, and they're walking away from quite a bit. These trees, I feel like they're being divinely guided by their ancestors, but in not in the same manner as the divine feminine. The divine feminine we're gonna say divine feminine energy. These are energies anyway. You can apply it to anyway. A male can carry a divine feminine energy, and a female can carry a divine masculine energy. However, it's about the energies, you guys. So what I'm seeing here is, honestly, the feminine might have walked away. Might have said, okay, you know what? I'm tired of this. I want to close the chapter. I want to close the door. I want to start something new. There's a closure taking place. As she did this, the masculine mirrored that energy and began to make changes in their lives to close out cycles themselves. If this is a twin flame connection, again, mostly that's what my messages are about. However, you can have masculines in your life or males in your life who are going through this exact same thing, and they may not be your twin flame, but they may be someone's. They may not be your soulmate, but they may be someone. So this message could resonate with you, or it could resonate in relation to someone who's in your energy field. so that you can maybe empathize with what they're going through. And if you notice that they have some differences in their behavior, it's because they're changing, they're shifting, they're evolving, and it's a strenuous process. It's just like a birthing process. And this is where this cosmic egg comes in. And I feel like what's really happening is the divine masculine, or the male, or the masculine energy. The reason why I'm saying in many different ways is because it's many different ways. But what I feel like they're doing is reconnecting with the feminine within. It's a balancing that's taking place. And in the last reading, these three women, Pope Joanne Parvati and Mary of Nazareth, they're all divine mothers and sacred divine feminine energies that ultimately played a very prominent role in masculine, alongside masculine energies. Because while this one portrayed a masculine energy and led, this one right here, her male counterpart, the god, Lord Shiva, make sure that's right, actually followed her. So how do I put this into words? There's a wisdom that comes with the intuitive connection of the divine feminine energy with the divine, of the feminine energy with the divine. So we've all heard of women's intuition. Okay, we all have access to this intuitive energy, to this creative aspect of self. Well, in the society, there are so many masculines who have grown up with the belief system that anything feminine within a male is not good, it's not positive. And so you grow up with these overly masculinated males who, may have traumas surrounding mother figures. And this is personified in the way they deal with, relate to, handle, treat, judge, interact with the females in their lives. The shift is that when you fall in love, there's this push and pull, because now an energy has entered their atmosphere of reality that challenges everything that they ever believed, everything that they ever knew to be foundationally true, solid, logical, because they built their worlds around the logical response to certain stimuli. Okay? So what they're doing is they're closing out these chapters and releasing. I'm hearing in my spirit, he made them again another. This is referring to the scripture in the Bible where the prophet was told to go to the potter's house and watch him make pottery, and how a vessel was marred or damaged in the fire. And rather than discarding it, the master potter, representational energy of the divine, made it again another. He didn't discard it or throw it away. It's like, no, this thing will become new. And there's also a scripture saying that all things will be made new. And it's just like a lot of things were coming through to me, even pertaining to angels, prophecies. I ended up doing some research on all of the astrological events. Well, not all of them. Major astrological events that had been occurring since 2017, which ultimately triggered chain reactions that led to this shift. And what we're having is, in order for there to be the birth of the new earth through the divine feminine energy within us all, then it's going to, the family dynamic is going to have to shift. What does that mean? If you look at how things have been in the past, you realize that ultimately, and the feminine energy was too often left unprotected. Now, let's even go into the feminine energy of Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, the cosmic egg that birthed all life into existence. And if you want to, again, know about the cosmic egg, then please watch the first video. I read everything about the cosmic egg and its meaning in that video. And I'll put the link to that video in the box, in the description box, and the link to this video in the description box of that one, so that they'll be easily found. Now, with this new romantic cycle, this is the new moon in Libra. Now, we had a new moon eclipse in Taurus, which actually showed forth itself in this, in a form in this reading, because these are the same cards from the other reading. I just had to ruminate over them, like I said. And so what was I saying here? A new romantic cycle beginning. This is about, yes, the twin flame journeys. Yes, you are about to close the cycle on your twin flame journey, and you're about to birth in this new beginning. And a lot of you are coming into unions, and your divine connection is protected. That is one message that I am getting here. So y'all just bear with me, because I'm gonna, rather than make several different videos from every different message that I've been seeing, because it comes to me not as one singular stream of information, but multiple streams of information, and it's layered. So just sort of bear with me, and whatever resonates with you. If you are in a twin flame connection, take the twin flame energy in it. It could work for you. Also, the other energies, whatever. Y'all, we are also in Mercury retrograde right now, so I may stammer and stutter a little more than often than I usually do, but we're gonna get through this. But the reason why I related this Libra new moon to this Taurus energy is because it gave me, like, I don't know, it gave me similar vibes, with this little crescent here being like the crescent of the horns, and this circle here being like that circle there. And hear me out. I'm seeing how these horns could also represent this scale or balance. And this being Hathor, the Taurus energy, what in ancient Egypt, the goddess that gave birth to the Taurus, to Ra's Tau, which is also the pyramids, sacred pyramid of Giza. Well, I'm not going to go into that, was Hathor. Hathor was later recognized as the goddess Isis. And it's the goddess of, let me see. Let me pull it up, because I want to give you guys as much information, because this stuff goes deep. And I can't tell you everything I see, but I can tell you as much as I can. Okay, so I'm back, and I got the information about the goddess Hathor. In some versions of the myth, Hathor is created as the daughter of Ra. And you heard me, I was like sort of looking, and I was like, Hathor. I said Isis. Then I said Ra. Then I said El. Then I said Israel. And I was like, hold on, something's going on here. And Hathor is created as the daughter of Ra, the sun god. So again, little synchronicities occurring where it's saying stay away from the sun, stay away from the son of God. And we got the sun god. And Hathor is in addition of being the goddess of the sky, Hathor is often linked with the dead. In this role, she provided food to the dead when they arrived in the underworld, or the land of the dead. So what does that have to do with anything? Interestingly enough, that partial solar eclipse that occurred last month, at the end of last month, was in Taurus. And you see like this darkening of the moon, this energy, is this iconography going on, was bringing balance. And okay, I'm gonna bring this around. The full moon eclipse that is taking place is actually going to take place in Scorpio. It's actually going to take place in Scorpio, right? We got this full moon in Scorpio. Breathe through the tension. And this is making me feel like this tension was also a birthing process that is taking place, a new birthing process, a birthing of the earth energy here. But it is being done so by divine inspiration. Again, we have the sun being birthed. But there's also in 2017, this is reminding me of the sign that appeared in the sky with Virgo, with just like in Revelations 12, 1 and 2 in the Bible. This actually occurred 12, 21, 2017, that this sign that was appearing in Revelations 12, 1 and 2, you get it, you see like 12, 1, 2, then it happened on 12, 2, 1. These numerical synchronicities where it says she had 7 stars, 12 stars over her head. She was clothed with the sun, had the moon at her feet. And this actually appeared in the sky where the sun was in the center of Virgo. And it said that she was screaming and wailing out as though she was about to give birth. That's what it says in the scripture. And she had 12 stars around her head. And the 12 stars around her head, some say, were the 12 stars of the constellation Leo. Oh, well, not 12 stars. The 9 stars of the constellation Leo plus 3 planets, which were, I don't have my notes. Let me get them. Okay, I'm back. The 3 planets were Mercury, Venus, and Mars were at the head of Virgo. Now, that's where in the scripture said her head had a crown of 12 stars. Now, in addition to the sun being in the center, the planet Jupiter was also in the center of Virgo, which as the weeks passed after September. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Let me go back. This sign appeared September 23rd, 17. The sign that appeared 12, 21, 20 was actually the Great Conjunction. So we'll talk about that later. This one, this occurred basically 9, 5, 7, 8, 9. So 9, 5, 9, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 23. Dang. Wow. That makes it still be 5. Okay. What was I doing just now? September the 23rd, 2017 in numerology would be 9. Then 23 would be 5. Then 2017 would be 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So I said 9 at first. So that would be 9 plus 10 is 19 plus 5. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 would be 6, which would be balance, which would be balancing right there, back to balancing the scale. Something is coming to bring balance if we look at that. But anyway, Jupiter being at the center of the woman, it said that in the days passing after that sign appeared, that Jupiter actually passed through the bottom area of Virgo, which would be technically an astrological sign of a woman giving birth to a king, the king of gods, a woman giving birth. That would match up with this energy. But instead of it being a physical thing, you guys, this is the Christ's return energy, because things in the Bible are not literal. They are astrological. They are symbolic. They are relating spiritual truths to us. And what's happening is that there's a very big shift taking place here where the Great Conjunction, which happened at that in 2020, was the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, which appeared as the Christmas star around the Christmas season during the winter solstice when the sun dies. When the sun died and after 3 days rose again. That's that similar energy. Interestingly enough, Queen Esther appeared, which is what Easter is named after, and we just had Easter. And this is talking about a morning star. My ego is in service of my soul, and I trust my soul's divine timing. So this is relating right back to that ego death that took place, or that is presently taking place in the divine masculine energy. Masculine energy within us all, not just in males. And this is what we have to understand. It's an energy. It's not about gender or genitalia. This is about energy. And what is happening is this energy is shifting into union energy, to where the logical mind is meeting with is connecting with the gut feeling, intuitive mind, the heart mind. There's being a heart brain alignment that's taking place here to bring back the union of energies that have for decades, centuries been separated by ego. And this is why we have had so many issues with the unification of male and female, masculine and feminine energy, which is a dance of balance that we've been doing forever, but never really mastering. And this is the time for that mastery to take place, as we are now in the age of Aquarius, the Great Awakening, the second coming of the Christ energy, which was originally introduced to us in the biblical story of the birth of Jesus, which is the first time this great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn took place. Now, what does the great conjunction have to do with anything? I'm going to give you a tidbit of information on that, because this is going to end up having to be a completely different lesson that has nothing to do with me pulling cards. But just to give you guys an idea of what is coming from these downloads that led to me doing research. Let's see what I have. Okay, so the great conjunction happened 12/21/2020, and when I did the numerology of 12/21/2020, it equaled the number 10. And again, I'm just going to go through this. You just listen to me. I'm going to eventually do something where you can see a visual, and that went back to number 1. So the number 10 is like the closing out of a cycle. It's completely closing out a cycle. And then you have the 1 and the 0 and the 1. When you close out the cycle, everything starts over and becomes new, which is this cosmic egg here. So the combination of Saturn and Jupiter conjuncting, which made this sign of this Christmas star, is which is actually what ushered in the age of Aquarius, the end of the age of Pisces. It heralded Christ consciousness return, which was 4 days before Christmas, the winter solstice, death and rebirth of the sun. This is the death and rebirth of the sun sun, is what the winter solstice is, which is what we celebrate on Easter. Is when the sun is at its lowest point, and it stays there for 3 days before rising back again. And that's something that you could look up in the Farmer's Almanac as true. So this is not really new information. It's just new to be expressed and seen and explained in conjunction with the present energies that are taking place in order to herald and usher in the second coming of the Messiah, the era of the Great Awakening, society's collective change, because the Aquarian energy is about it's about the intellect. It's about more of the intuitive energy, but it's also, with this Saturn and Jupiter energy, is about elevating through. Okay, so here it is. the ruler, Saturn, in this great conjunction is actually the ruler planet of the zodiac sign Aquarius. The individual growth that we are having to experience for this new age of change, in the spiritual aspect, it can only be achieved with the spiritual awakening under the law of karma and self-discipline, not chaotic lawlessness. And so this ego death is to bring in this discipline energy, and that's why I feel like this detoxified energy is here. And Spirit revealed to me on the night of, I think it's the 15th, May 15th this year, 2022. That is when the full moon eclipse in a Scorpio is taking place. Scorpio rules death and rebirth, death and transformation, sex, death, rebirth, and transformation. All these things have to do with birthing or bringing something in. You know, this is a and also, interestingly enough, the dragon that was supposedly at the feet that's seeking to devour the child that was being given birth in the constellations, there's the constellation Draco right next to Virgo at that time. Ophiuchus was at the bottom at her feet, and so was Scorpio. So you got a Hydra, a dragon, and a scorpion all around that energy. Which one of those is the dragon? You know, it's just these kinds of things I'm researching and looking at to understand the astrological meanings behind it and what to expect with the energies. But my point is, this full moon in Virgo is talking about this card that's talking about the full moon in Virgo is also relating to this birth energy, or that Virgo energy, or the virgin energy, or the birth energy. And it's talking about taking inspired action right here with this inspiration card. 2 different cards, completely different deck, personifying the same information. I'll get to this later. I am going to address this card right here because this is one of the ones that I needed to address, and it's about psychic abilities. Because what's going to happen, you guys, is we're going to experience a lot of pressure up here in the third eye area around our crown chakras. It's going to be headaches, it's going to be pressures in the ears and stuff like that, because as this takes place, you're going to have physical symptoms of these spiritual things as our consciousness is actually expanding. You know, we're no longer going to be in a box. All this energy is exponential energy. And it's saying conclusions are within reach. Again, 2 different cards with a full moon eclipse, which is coming, which is the death and rebirth process, which is Scorpio. This is letting us know that there are some energies coming. It's going to completely close the door to your past existence, how you saw things, what you believed in, who, you know, no longer needs to be in your life, whose life you no longer need to be in. You're going to be redirected in a very profound way onto your own personally designated life path or journey. And it's not going to be about what others want for your life because they're having to do the same thing. It's not going to be about living to the standards of anyone else. And I'm liking how this tree energy is still here, because this is about you being grounded, your roots, your destiny. And ironically enough, that looks like an ankh here in this moon. So again, it's repetitive why did I want to say iconography or symbology or iconography of a uterus giving birth, divine feminine energy, and it coming into union with the masculine, because with this Hathor energy, in order for peace and unity to occur, the Taurian bull, the Taurus, had to sacrifice his ego and merge back into his divine mother, Hathor, for there to be unity. And you can look up this story. And this is symbolic of what is occurring, where, you know how in the Bible story, they took the rib out of Adam and created the woman. Well, now they're being merged back together. And I had a experience where that revelation came to me that, yeah, God, the divine, whatever you want to believe it, is putting us back together to make us whole. No longer will you be feeling the separation of you from anything else in the world, because the scripture said there's nothing that can separate us from the love of God, and that we are all connected, And so I'm feeling like there's also this closure idea of any form of separation, when even the trees, you guys, the trees, they look like they're standing individually, but under the ground where their roots touch, they have an entire networking system where they communicate with each other. In our telepathically through fungi that's under the ground attached to, it's like nerve centers. It's like, if the earth is a body, then the trees would be like an extension of you, an extension from the body that has nerve endings underneath the surface of the skin that's communicating information to the core, to the brain, to the main source. But I'm feeling this unity energy taking place, where you may feel like, your mind isn't agreeing with your heart. And that is what we've been experiencing with masculine and feminine energy, where the logic has not been agreeing with the intuitive, because the logic cannot justify the intuitive, and the intuitive breaks all the rules of the logic. It just doesn't obey any of the rules of the logic. A miracle has no way, in no way, with its limitlessness, obeys any rules of logic. Or what's that other word? Can't think of it right now. Rationale, logic or rationale. And this is where this energy comes in. Well, what do you need to release? You need to release the box. Just let go of the in the box thinking, the in the box living, the in the box consciousness, the in the box rationale, the in the box logical, and let it merge so that you can have a unified front. Because where the intuitive or the imaginative exists, there is no concretion. However, if they merge together, and this is also talking about the unity of the divine masculine and divine feminine, the unity of the twin flames, the unity of husband and wife, the unity of how can two walk together except they agree? How can the heart and mind manifest reality except they agree? Where the consciousness and the mind and the expansion of imagination can take all these ideas and slow them down and solidify them in the rational, in the material world, and make these things real. And this is why you need the masculine and feminine energy, whereas one is going to have some rules, it's going to have some structure and some stability, and that's the masculine, while the creative force that takes the limits off is the feminine. And this is why whatever a masculine gives a feminine, she can multiply. And the masculine is the guardian, the protector, the strength, the shield, the structure that is necessary. In nature, there is structure and there is chaos, and there is a balance in which they occur. The chaos cannot be explained many times, but the structure is necessary to make it materialize. Is this making any sense to anybody, what I'm saying? I know. So for you in the twin flame journeys who have been on this wave along with me, The universe, first of all, wants to let you know to be proud of yourself and what you have accomplished. Do not diminish. And I've heard also in my spirit, fret not small beginnings. So if you are um, on the journey to reconnecting with your soul, your soul mate, your divine counterpart, or your own personal oneness, coming back to yourself, then you have experienced like a breakdown of the psyche, the human psyche, that has caused you the ability to be more mindful of the existence of the balance of things. If you are on a twin flame journey or have experienced this awakening on any level, and you begin to see yourself, your ideas, your traumas, your burdens, your stress, your fears, your joys, your positivity, your love, you begin to see it reflected in others during this awakening. And then judgment is occurring from the inside out, because there are some who may want to project outward, but then the universe put us all on pause and made us all sit down and deal with our shit and put us in isolation. So there was no one you could blame. You had to deal with your stuff internally, whether it's family issues, whether it's your own personal issues, whether it's on your own negative thought processes. It's like all those things were being brought to the surface, and all these astrological events and these energies from the planets pulling on us have been hailing this energy coming in, so that we can pluck it out, separate the wheat from the tares, as is represented in the scripture when they're talking about separating, the rapture, the great rapture of, and the end of times, the great apocalypse. And yes, at this time, your commitment was being tested as you began to expand your consciousness and learning to talk less and feel more. And I feel like that during this retrograde, this is what we are having to focus on. Go within, because the energies are going to be as such that emotions are going to be flaring. Emotions are going to be really high. And so there's a high possibility of arguments and such, because right now, as we're trying to understand ourselves, we're wanting to be understood, but you cannot be understood by someone who doesn't understand themselves. And you cannot teach someone else to understand you if they themselves don't want to understand their own soul. Again, there's this Piscean energy of the exit of the age of Pisces coming into the age of Aquarius. Also this balance, this yin and yang balance, the fish that are doing this balancing act, balancing spirituality and practicality. And right here, even on this picture, this is someone holding what looks like a pine cone or the cosmic egg. And this is power. This is energy. This is a wish. This is the intangible. And then this is the tangible. This is imaginative, etheric, and this is concrete. And honestly, this is kind of looking like a big giant eye here. And the moon represents could represent illusions, because this person's in the dark. And there's a scripture also in the Bible that says, now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. I prophesy in part and I know in part, but when that which is part is passed away, then I will know is even also I am known. It's something like that. But it's talking about the Great Awakening, where everything is actually occurring inside of us. We're looking to the outside thinking that, everything on the outside is the universe. No, the universe is within. Do you see this? How this brightness is here, then the darkness is here, here. Everything, the balance needs to take place. Pisces, the balance needs to take place within us. And we're in Mercury retrograde in Gemini. Began in Gemini, and that is opposing energies right there. That's the twins, that's representing the twin flames, that's representing duality, that's representing the positive, negative, in the atom. I can go atom, whether you're talking about atomic atom, particles, electrons and protons, and neutrons, the neutrality. We could be talking about Atum, who is where is it? Where's my phone? Because I want to say it right. Atum. is the Egyptian god, one of the manifestations of the sun god and creator god. Okay, perhaps originally the local deity of Heliopolis. Okay, so we're talking about the divine masculine and feminine energies in the divine creator of all, has a positive and negative, has polarity and duality, and we're seeing this energy being, what I said, Adam, and then Adam, the first man, being reconnected and rejoined with his rib, the Eve energy. My brain just be going a million miles a minute, you guys. But what I'm saying here is this: we're going to become way more psychically intuitive, where our connections with the divine, our connections with the cosmos, our connections with all is going to be more energetic and less physical, because the age of Pisces, every time that constellation, that sign in heaven appeared with the Virgo, there's many times that actually appeared in the sky, but every time in its center, in the center of the sun, the woman being clothed with the sun with the moon at her feet in Revelations, there was an earth sign always in the midst of the womb energy of the Virgo constellation. It was only for the first time, I think, I don't want to get the number wrong, in an age, and I want to say an age is like 200 years or so. Again, this is why I'm going to have to teach on this later, but it was only this one time that Jupiter appeared instead of an earth sign, which the king of the planets, the king of the gods, appeared with Leo over the head. And that planet, that the largest planet in our solar system, was being birthed out. That is what ushered in the new age, from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And it's happened, hold on. It was something about Aquarius that happened in the month. It was something. That's why I said I'm going to have to do a completely different message, because I'm having to intuitively connect these things right now, whereas later on I can pull my notes out and I can show y'all what this storyline is. But right now I got to finish getting this message through the cards that the cards are relaying, which led me to do the research, which made the connection. But anyway, the age of Aquarius, and I'm going to pause for a second because I'm going to look for it. Hold on. Okay, so I was talking about the age of Aquarius. I had to get my notes here. And the age of Aquarius, the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, happened in Aquarius. So in 2017, the sign appeared that was letting us know something was about to be given birth to. And then it was heralding the birth of the new age, the age of Aquarius. And the great conjunction was what actually brought it in. Now, the zodiac sign that rules Saturn is the Capricorn. And I found this interesting, that at the great conjunction, Saturn and Jupiter were there. And Saturn being ruling Capricorn, and Capricorn loves rules and structure and responsibility and hard work and determination. And that is the age we were actually leaving. And Capricorn is representing tarot as the devil. So this is talking about exiting into the new world, exiting the old world, the era that was ruled by the powers and principalities, rules of dark places, the devil's reign, technically moving out of that energy, which is more material, because in tarot, the Capricorn is an earth sign. Well, the zodiac sign is an earth sign, so it will rule and being ruled by Saturn, it rules finances, the pentacles, the material world, what's on the outside, your achievements, your personal achievements and stuff like that. And being the prince of the air type energy. So it's like moving out of the age of Pisces, where everyone, and honestly, Pisces is actually the dreamer of the zodiac. So you got the dreamer of the zodiac, and this in the age, which is the dream of having materialistic things, moving out of that energy of the dream of, okay, if I have this or that materialistically, financially, I have wealth in the earth, is that obsessive energy with materialism and secular and carnal lifestyle that's associated with the devil energy, which is the Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. You get what I'm saying? It's like you have this specific idea or belief system that this is what you needed to do in order to survive on this planet, and in order to live the dream or to have the best life on this planet. It was all materialistically driven, and we're moving out of that age into the age of Aquarius, which is has the characteristics of intelligence and change and independence. And at the age of Aquarius is going to represent the age of change, the great awakening from a spiritual aspect, like I said. And it's saying that but the Jupiterian energy that is associated with it is, let me pull up Jupiter. Yeah, I do old school notes. I know people be like, hey, you could just pop that, type that up. No, what for? I like to write. Okay, so Jupiter, the king of the planets, and the testament of our creator energy, it evokes creation, salvation themes, and its representational energy is a luck, kingly or priestly planet, where the king and the priestly energies in ancient times were pretty much synonymous with each other, you guys. So if you were a king, you were a priest, you had the same reverence that a priest had, and if you were a priest, you had the same reverence and respect and regal. I can't come up with a word. You got the same respect if you was a king or a priest. And so this is where that high priest energy comes in at, and it's about our spiritual journey to conscious expansion. Twin flame journey, soul mission growth, stuff like that, the discovery and truth, where is natural domain, along with like the related issues of freedom, justice, mercy, faith, hope, stuff like that. So you had the conjunctive energy of luck and prosperity and salvation conjuncting with the rules with Saturn energy. Okay, so what does all that mean, you guys? What does all that mean? That means, summing this up, if you grew up religious or a Christian of any kind like I did, then you were always told that we're living in the last days. The rapture is coming. The end of the world is coming. The apocalypse and the great revelation, the battle of Megiddo is coming. We're having this spiritual valley, the valley of dry bones story with Ezekiel. Was it Ezekiel? You got all these stories about the world coming to an end and us going into the kingdom. Well, you guys, these astrological events are telling you that has happened. That is happened and is happening. So we actually exited the age that is personified and exemplified and documented historically in ancient texts and in the Bible and stuff. And now we're in the kingdom energy now. We are just having to let go of and close out all the old stuff so that we can manifest the new, because it's time for us to have a new way of being. A new way of being, So let's see. The last two cards that were, well, I'm going to keep pulling because Spirit said pull again. Okay, we got step outside your comfort zone. North Node. This is about stepping into your divine purpose, stepping into your destiny. And that is exactly what you're doing as we exit this age of Pisces, as we exit this old way of being and enter to this expanded consciousness, ego has to be done away with it, with this don't let pride stand in the way. Because if you allow pride to get in your way of this expansion, then nothing will come of this. Nothing will come of this, because it is closing off. It is closing up. See, I'm going to keep pulling. A time for healing. End of a tough cycle. The answers you need are coming. This is letting you know that this is what we need, because it's the South Node. This is where we used to be. This is the dark energy. This is where we were in our lowest vibration. And now we're elevating into our highest vibration with this North Node energy. It's saying don't let the past hold you back, because it's time to step outside your comfort zone and heal these past energies. And this is what the Divine Masculine's mission is right now. Stepping outside that comfort zone and out of that ego, and closing out this tough cycle, because it's done with. It's over. And to seek the answers. And here's this full moon in Gemini energy. And this Taurus energy is saying release control. In Divine Feminist, Spirit wants you to know there's this Cancerian energy is about your family and about the family life that you are manifesting here as these closures take place. This family life. This family life that you're manifesting, that's what I'm saying. This Cancerian energy is telling you to take a breather. Take a breather, because the masculine energy is about to step up and take the lead. New moon in Capricorn energy. Okay. So I'm going to say here, let's see what else comes up. Okay. So Divine wants you to honor, to let you know that a new start is coming, and to honor your feelings, because what we're going to do is we're going to start receiving these downloads. And what you see is like this shadowing out of the moon here. This talking about the first quarter moon in Pisces. Again, that balance energy taking place. And but I'm also seeing like you have these sacred geometrical shapes coming down over the higher consciousness. So one thing I did not finish explaining earlier when I was talking about the moon, talking about mysteries and shadows and things that are unseen, or the secrets of the universe, but it's also the divine feminine, the darkness of the intuitive, like going within yourself and seeking from that universe within, the etheric, dark energy that is within. And not dark energy as in bad, but dark energy as in the ether, where the darkness of the womb is where all life was birthed from, incubated. And it's feeling like we have incubated in the darkness long enough. It's now time for us to be reborn into a new dimension of reality. And that is what happens when a child is in the womb being created. They're in this darkness and they're incubated, and they're being, put together, and they are being built up. And then all of a sudden this portal of opportunity opens up for them to enter into another completely way of being, where they don't even remember the old way. You don't remember being in the womb. We're not going to remember this old way, because and there are going to be generations to come that won't remember this old way. Just like in the age of Pisces, we don't remember that. We read about it, because we were living in the age of Pisces, the tail end of it, and there was a certain way of being. But the people who will be born into this new world will not know anything except for what we have documented. And this is why when I was younger, I was told, that our journals and our memoirs would be the Bible for the people in the kingdom, the people in the new generation, the people in the new energy. And I'm saying the kingdom because this is representational energy, or representational wording for to help those people who grew up in my age or before me, who are coming into this information and who are able to bend enough and mold enough to realize that we have experienced an immense shift. As humanity, we have evolved quite a bit. And we had all these superhero movies coming out back to back to show us the evolution. Interesting, you guys. Looks like Taurus is peeking out right here. Or is that Saturn? Is that Saturn? I don't know. But yeah, you guys. I just wanted to share that information with you, how that download came to me, so that you guys can have an understanding. But for y'all who are in twin flame connections, is letting you know that personal issue is reaching resolution. So, and then there's Cancerian energy here, so it's very emotional, very intuitive. You might be connecting with your twin more psychically now than ever with this new moon and Gemini energy. So between the new moon and full moon cycles, you're going to notice a very big shift in the communication between the two of you. It's telling you to meditate and contemplate, because again, there's that balance energy right here. And if you knew the sign of Cancer, then it really looks like this right here. It looks like the swimming fish. You see it? So it's showing you too the duality. It's showing you that they're coming together energetically. Oh, look what happened. Be humble. First quarter moon in Leo. Again, coming back around to this pride energy. So when your masculine comes back around to you guys, spirit is saying be humble. Because you might have this pride energy of where you been all this time. Oh, you late to the show and blah, 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 blah. You know, that, and I know the energy. But also, you're both going to have to swallow this. You're both going to have to go experience this ego death in order for this unity to take place, in order for this balance to be personified. Because these dreams need a practical plan, and there's that Taurian energy again, and that's going to make this connection be more, you know, like I said, taking that etheric, that 5D, fifth dimensional spiritual connection and slowing down that vibration and turning it into something concrete. These adjustments are required. And the spirit wants you to know you're very close to achieving your goal. And if you think it's over, they want you to know nothing is yet set in stone, and that a win-win outcome is forecast. And there's the balancing scales of Libra. Hold your vision and believe in the impossible. Surrender to the divine and look at the bigger picture. A fiery climax approaches. You and your loved ones are safe. Okay, I'm going to end that reading here because I feel like that is giving you all the fullness of what I was able to sort of channel. And thank you guys for watching. And I hope that made some sense. You know, I love questions. I love questions. So feel free to ask questions if you feel like this resonated with you, but you need some more specific information about how it relates to your specific situation. Then please, by all means, book a reading with me. Yeah, so that we can give you some more specific information on your situation. Thank you again. 5757. Check that angel number.